When I was in college, my friends and I loved to play pranks on one another. We all lived in the same apartment complex, so it's kind of easy. We broke into one of our friends' house and already stole all of their light bulbs. Like, every single one, man. And they in turn pranked us back by taking our furniture and turning it all upside down. It wasn't really breaking in because we all had keys to one another's apartments because we'd borrow each other's games and sugar and stuff like that, but there's instances where some pranks have gone pretty crazy. These are going to be a couple of horror stories about pranks from nefarious people by Spooked today. So go over to his channel and subscribe, guys, and let's get into this video.
A couple of weeks ago, some new neighbors moved in.
Okay.
They were a family of 3, consisting of 2 parents and a boy about my age.
All right.
When I first saw him, I immediately noticed he was an incel type of guy.
Incel,
I could tell by his really pale complexion and him wearing some really geeky video game shirts. One day, I was studying in the backyard, and I caught him staring at me from his bedroom window.
Oh.
Great.
Right.
I thought.
Yeah.
This guy is not only an incel, but a creep. As I caught him staring, he quickly jolted away, pretending he was cleaning his computer or something.
Okay.
The day after, I went outside because my mom had asked me to take out the trash. As I did so, I noticed he was mowing the lawn, something he looked to be just learning how to do. As I closed the trash can lid, that's when he suddenly appears behind it.
Okay.
He tells me hi, and I tell him hello back.
Hi!
I expected him to follow up with something, but he just stood there with his small eyes, staring at me behind his square glasses.
Very socially awkward.
And just as I turned to make my way back to my house, he tells me that I'm pretty. Thanks.
Okay.
I tell him.
That's a strange compliment for a guy.
Then he introduced himself as Ezra and left.
All right.
I guess that was his oh-so-charming introduction to me, and he obviously blew it pretty catastrophically.
I mean, it happens.
I just hope he didn't go too hard on himself.
Very nervous, you know. Gotta
That
rehearse
night,
when you're young.
I woke up to some sort of banking sound on my fence.
Okay.
I opened my side porch window.
And it's him?
Only to be faced with this.
Oh my God!
Some sort of big white mask hanging on the top part of the fence.
Hanging? Or was it somebody in it?
What is this? I slowly get closer to whatever it is and look over the fence to see if anyone could have made the noise was there.
Right.
There was no one though. It was just some sort of big white mask held by a coat hanger.
Oh, okay.
Although I wasn't hoping to find anyone, that made it even creepier.
They hung it
there. Sets up a mask on top of a coat hanger in the far end of their backyard near the fence. Either way, that weird Ezra kid or someone else was messing with me. I took a picture of it to show my friends, and just went back to bed.
Yeah.
The following morning, I woke up and looked out my window. The mask was now gone.
Okay.
I opened the porch to go outside, only now to see Ezra's head poking over the fence. Upon seeing me, he asked me if I was scared yesterday. Before I had any time to respond, he told me that he set the prank up last night with his cousin. I told him it wasn't exactly funny.
Okay.
Then he asked if I wanted to come over, to which I replied that I was too busy studying for my exams.
Oh, you gotta be direct, buddy.
He just said okay and left.
You gotta be direct.
Unfortunately, it came together now. The guy was either bipolar or just doesn't understand basic social cues.
Yeah.
I had hoped that that was his only and last attempt to make friends with me.
It's not gonna be though.
It was starting to creep me out.
We know better.
But it didn't end there though.
Okay.
It was Saturday, and the neighbors that just moved in had invited us for dinner. As much as I didn't want to go, my mom basically forced me because it would have been incredibly rude for me not to show up.
It's the incel kid's
I more or less agreed, but that Ezra kid really freaked me out.
Right.
The dinner went a little bit better than expected, besides the fact that Ezra kept staring at me basically the entire time.
Not talking
While we were eating, the topic of the conversations had moved on to Ezra's mother talking about the hamster they had just bought.
Okay.
Then, in front of everyone, she asked me if I wanted to see them, and then proceeded to ask Ezra if he'd be kind enough to show me the hamster.
All right.
He immediately got up, and I was put on the spot, so I couldn't really say no. So, we went to his room, and it smelled like a teenager's room, except worse.
Okay.
Like no windows were ever opened since he moved in.
Ah.
He keenly reached into the cage and pulled out the hamster.
Yeah.
I just kept pretending as much as I could that I found it cute.
Okay.
When he put the hamster down, I inspected his room. It was really bordelic, and there were a bunch of things on the floor.
All right.
That's when under his bed, I could barely make out what looked to be a printed out picture of me zoomed in on my cleavage area. I recognized it because it was a picture I posted on my Facebook. My heart was beating faster now, as I was literally on the brink of screaming.
Okay.
But instead, I just briefly told him I was going back downstairs and left. We both sat back down at the dinner table like
very,
normal.
very creepy though.
We eventually went back home, and being safe in bed, I was relieved that nothing else came out of this from that point on.
Right.
That was the last time I heard of Ezra, although I still notice him staring at me intently from his window every now and then.
I gotta say, man, he didn't say he was a female at the start, or at least I missed it. And
my name is Belle,
I thought it was
and
just
I recently moved in with my boyfriend Paul.
Oh my god.
I moved over to his
That makes
house
a big difference,
because
huh?
it was more spacious than mine and had a backyard. One day, while we're unboxing some of my stuff in the bedroom, he sees me place my beloved Furby doll on the shelf.
Furbies.
A Furby doll. He laughs. What are you, 9?
Yeah.
I was a little offended, but I replied to him that it was my doll that I kept with me ever since I was a kid.
Right.
And that it had a lot of sentimental value because of that.
Oh, he's gonna take it or
Paul's
do
been
something
making fun of my Furby doll ever since.
Sure.
One morning, I noticed the back door open. I asked Paul if he had forgotten to maybe close the door last night, but he just declined it. Then he added that maybe it was my Furby doll. I told him it wasn't funny, but he just kept laughing.
Oh, come on, man.
I don't know why, but he just kept bringing it up or making jokes about it almost every day.
I mean, that's
it got
what
to
kids
the point
do, right?
where it was just getting a little strange. Almost like he was, sounds crazy to say, but jealous of the doll.
Oh.
After all, our relationship did get a little bit boring after a couple of years, and to be fair, I did sleep holding the doll from time to time.
Right.
This was all speculation though. That was until one night. I had gotten to the kitchen one morning when I suddenly saw something in the microwave.
Oh no.
It was my Furby doll. Furious, I went upstairs to ask Paul if he had done this, to which he replied that he didn't. I asked him again, hoping he wouldn't lie this time, but he just kept denying it. Then, as I left the bedroom, he jokingly added maybe the Furby doll climbed into the microwave by itself. I told him it wasn't funny,
dude,
and that if he did it, he should tell me.
Right.
But he just kept declining and saying that maybe I did it while I was sleepwalking or something.
What?
Although it's true that I used to sleepwalk as a child, I knew I would never do something of this caliber. Either way, I was practically certain it was him because he had the motive.
Okay.
It just kept bugging me how he was basically obsessing over the Furby doll.
Right.
One night though, things took a creepy turn.
Okay.
I woke up in the middle of the night to some noise. I turned around to wake up Paul, but that's when I realized he wasn't in bed. His phone is on the nightstand, so I figure he's probably downstairs eating or something.
Paul is doing something with the
Furby doll? I go
Furby
downstairs and the sound gets louder. It was like a faint but repetitive bang. After searching the entire downstairs area, I realized he's outside in the backyard. I opened the back door, which was unlocked, and sure enough, it was Paul in the far end of the backyard, pounding the now completely butchered Furby doll with a hatchet. Horrified, I immediately shut the door and locked it behind me. I look at him from the window and see him repetitively pounding into the doll in a zombified way. I called the cops, and they told me they were on their way. As I hang up the phone and look back out the window, I notice that Paul is nowhere to be seen.
Oh no.
Then the door handle suddenly turns.
Oh my gosh,
he realizes it's locked. Then I hear him ask me, "Sarah, what do you think you're doing?" I tell him he's unstable, and that's when he just starts laughing. He's there, just laughing for a good minute, but then I hear the cops in the distance. He stops laughing. Did you just call the cops on me? I don't know what to say. So I just kept silent.
I did.
That's when he suddenly starts pounding on the door with his hatchet. He realizes the window is easier, so he throws the hatchet at it and shatters it. By that point, I was already running to the front door and waving over to the cops. They get out of the car and go inside the house to retrieve Paul. As they take him away, he tells me that he was sorry, and that he didn't know what had gotten into him.
What?
But he was already in the car
No,
on his way to the police station.
No.
Paul was allegedly placed in a mental facility.
I guess.
And I never heard anything of him.
That
Quite
dude.
Honestly, I don't know if I want to see him again.
His rocker. Man, you know how crazy you gotta be just to do stuff like that to someone? That it's just it's so bizarre to be that obsessive over something, but people be crazy, y'all. Don't be safe out there. Make sure to hit Spooked up, you guys. Awesome stories today, buddy, as well as a couple other spooked reactions that I think you'll love. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.